Hey, and welcome to your weekly recap of everything you missed this week on Rev3 and beyond. I'm your host, Annie. This week, Google gets extreme, your childhood memories ruined, all of your memories, and finally, so we'll show you some of the hottest trends for summer 2012, like maxi skirts and colorful scarves and certain types of felonies. More on that later. But first, let's talk Google. So if you remember, a couple months ago, Google released this concept video for a project they call Glass, a pair of Geordie LaForge-style augmented reality glasses that help you with difficult everyday tasks like getting coffee and finding the right section in the bookstore. Well, on Wednesday at their I/O conference in San Francisco, they revealed the first actual prototype of Project Glass, seen here on Sergey Brin himself, courtesy of The Verge. But this time, instead of showing how the tech can be used for boring everyday stuff, they went with the opposite of boring, extreme. Between some people skydiving out of a plane and biking off the side of a building and presumably into the future. All of which you could also accomplish by, say, sticking a camera onto a pair of Panoptics. Possibly. We did not see the informational overlays that we saw in the original demo from a couple months ago. Now, granted, Brin did point out that this is an early prototype, but also announced that pre-orders are available for a developer version, which will be shipping early next year and available for about $1,500 and to developers only. Sorry. But if you do get your hands on one, please let me know. So, moving on to movies. Of course, it wouldn't be summer without at least one big movie franchise. This year, it's The Amazing Spider-Man, a reboot, not a sequel, of the iconic franchise, this time starring Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone as Peter Parker and his lady friend, Gwen Stacy. It's not out till next week, so all we've seen so far is the cast looking a little awkward and waxy along the international press circuit. One thing is for sure, however, it's sure to piss off at least some old school fans of the Spider-Man franchise, as all comic book movies inevitably do. In the meantime, however, Eris Quinones of Variant has a roundup of the worst comic book adaptations to film ever. From the more recent, like The Green Lantern, to the ones that may have scarred you for life.
One of the most famous debacles that came from this movie is the rubber nipples on the Batsuit. Why would you ever give a character who's supposed to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies nipples on his costume? Is this to let you know that Batman's cold when he's fighting crime?
So to find out what the worst is, the worst, according to Variant, check out the full episode. And in more summer news, let's talk summer trends. Summer 2012 has been the summer of Kate Upton and short shorts and bath salts and Call Me Maybe, preferably all at the same time. But what else are the teens into these days? A hot new craze called swatting. Anthony has more.
So, a 16-year-old is playing Minecraft. He has his own server. Somebody comes on the server, is kind of a dick to him, and so he bans the guy, and the guy goes, "I am going to swat your house." What does that mean? Well, what that means is, and this is apparently a thing, I had no idea, teenagers are awful. Awful people. Here's what he did. Swatting is when you call the local police department and report a false crime at somebody's house, with the end game being getting the SWAT team to raid their house.
Subsequently, some states are actually considering making it a felony to swat. So this summer, if you want to get back at someone, just do it the old-fashioned way of leaving the stupid comment on their YouTube page. Take a moment to do that right now if you wish. Just don't bring the authorities into it, and don't do it in an Elmo costume in Central Park, because not only will you be sweaty as hell in that costume, you will get arrested. As for your summer do's, do eat some ice cream, do wear SPF 30 or higher, and do send me a message on Twitter or Facebook at Annie Gauss. And I'm gonna let this kid say the rest of it. See you next week.
And if you want other things to rant about, leave it in the comments. If you have anything to say about me, I'm so yeah, bye.